Retail Fast Five. Today's episode is brought to you in partnership with the A&M Consumer and Retail Group, Avalara, Williot, Miracle, and Sezzle. Ranked in the top 10% of all podcasts globally and currently ranked the #1 podcast in all of retail by FeedSpot, the Retail Fast Five is a podcast that we hope makes you feel a little smarter, but most importantly, a little happier each week too. And the Fast Five is just one of the many great podcasts you can find from Omni Talk Retail, alongside our Retail Daily Minute, which brings you a curated selection of the most important retail headlines every morning, and our Retail Technology Spotlight podcast series, which goes deep each week with the latest retail technology trends. And oh boy, have there been some banger Spotlight series as of late. Today, though, it's May 29th, 2024. I'm one of your hosts, Ann Mazenga.
And I'm one of your other hosts, Chris Walton.
And we are here once again to discuss and debate the most important headlines from the past week. Chris, it's been a crazy week. We're about to head to Barcelona. How are you feeling?
Yeah, you know, I was really excited to go to Barcelona, Ann. You know, I was excited to debut Chris 4.7, the new look. But I think now that it's here, I'm kind of like, oh man, it kind of feels like a Jackson Pollock painting that was like the orphan love child of like Chris Christopherson mixed with Scott Van Pelt, and then my personal new favorite, Mikhail Gorbachev, because I've got like this imprint of Belarus on my head, and I don't know where that came from following the pandemic, because I shaved my head during the pandemic too. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not loving the new look. I'm going to the show. I'm gonna debut it. We'll see what happens. But I'm not liking I'm not liking my vibe going into it. But we'll see. But you know, talk me up, man. Talk me up. Make me feel better.
I was gonna say, I think I know like 4 of the last 27 words that you just said describing Chris's look 4.0 or whatever this is, 4.7 or 3 or whatever version. But it's not about the look, Chris. It's about the experience. We're going out to Shop Talk Europe. It's such a fun time.
That's true.
That's
true.
Many
thanks
big,
for bringing me up.
Plans.
Uplifting.
It's going to be the environment, the sun, that beautiful Spanish sun hitting your face. Yes, the tapas, all of the things. Sister Sledge, you're going to be doing some like
Sister Sledge,
disco dancing.
What's a Sister Sledge song, Ann? I can't think of one off the top of my head.
Oh, yes, they have. Oh my God, now you're putting me on the spot, and I don't remember.
Oh, my bad. Is. Oh no, that's okay.
But it's a great. You will. I'm looking it up right now.
What tapas are you most excited to eat when you're there? I think for me,
we are family.
We are family. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. I always like the Pittsburgh Pirates. Yeah, that's right. I always like the anchovies when I go to Spain. That's like my favorite thing to eat.
That's
like
good. But I'm telling you, I still have dreams about that Biblioteca restaurant that we went to, that burrata on top of arugula. And there was this like goat cheese that that's the first reservation that I made.
Goat cheese that melts in your mouth. And
yes, land in Barcelona, head immediately to Biblioteca. Do not pass go. Do not pass go.
That is our plan, right? We're there. If you want to come by, we'll be there at what, 6 p.m. on Saturday. That's our plan.
Yes, that's the plan. Early American dinner for
early American dinner so we can get some sleep. Yes, staying up the whole day. So, all right, should we do the show? This is gonna be. I got a good feeling about this show. I got a really good feeling. I got a feeling. All right, today we've got news on TikTok making it even easier for more creators to earn money. Walmart adding pet telehealth benefits to Walmart Plus. Schnucks decision to join the Ibotta Performance Network. Google using AI to show how different clothes fit on different body types. And Joanna Rangarajan from the A&M Consumer and Retail Group stops by to give us 5 insightful minutes on Shein and fast fashion. But we begin today with a big store opening from, of all people, Wayfair. Ann.
I know. Headline number 1. It's pretty exciting, Chris. Wayfair finally opened its first large format store. And it comes with a restaurant. According to Chain Store Age, the home furnishings giant has unveiled its first ever large format store at Eden's Plaza in Wilmette, Illinois. It's 150,000 square feet. It's a 2-level space designed as a one-stop shopping destination for all things home. The assortment includes furniture, home decor, housewares, appliances, and home improvement products. There are 19 departments in all, and certain items are available to take home on the same day, but most products will be delivered with free shipping to customers within a day or two. And the new Wayfair store also includes a cafe, which I mentioned, called The Porch, which is open all day with a menu that includes small bites, salads, soups, handhelds, and more. I don't know about anchovies. Don't know if they have those there.
I hope not, actually.
Yes. But Chris, we want to get your thoughts on the store first.
Mm.
But this is also the A&M put you on the spot question because A&M's
Oh.
very own Chad Lusk recently visited this store right in his Chicago backyard. Chad says, I attended the grand opening of the store and was impressed by the Wayfair's interpretation of brick and mortar to make a digitally native retailer
Oh, wow.
truly
Good to know.
omni-channel. Since most retailers don't go in this direction, what would you hope to see or believe it is imperative for Wayfair to do, or a similar legacy e-com player to have in its physical store footprint in order to be successful?
Interesting. Interesting that Chad was so positive on it too. That's good to see. I can't wait to see this store.
Yeah.
So to answer that question, I think sure you have all the normal things you have to think about when you're running a store, like how do you keep it staffed? How do you make sure the operations are running smoothly? But the one thing to me that is the biggest question going in for Wayfair is how will the quality of the merchandising and the displays hold up over time?
Yeah.
Wayfair makes its bread and butter selling drop ship KD flat pack furniture, which isn't the best for trying to hold up with customers coming in and banging on it every single day. So that's my
Yeah.
big question. I know this too from some firsthand experience because I tried doing this at Target. We had a project called Digital Denver that launched, I think, back in 2016. You can look it up on the Wall Street Journal. We tried the same thing, and this was a very difficult thing. It was very difficult to keep the displays looking good and of a quality that was representative of what you're going to get when it arrives at your home. So that is what I'd be most concerned about. And so that, how you ameliorate that is you focus your merchandising on your best stuff. You try to upsell your best stuff there. You showcase the other stuff to the degree that you can. But at the end of the day, and I'm excited about this. It's been 7 years in the waiting.
Yeah.
I love the boldness of it. At the end of the day, I've said it before, home furnishings is a chore. It's in the act of accomplishing that chore, getting it done on one weekend shouldn't just be the purview of IKEA and regional players. I think IKEA can take a national position on that. I've long thought it. I doubt it's perfect right now, but it's a first step in the right direction. So kudos to Nerd Shaw and his team at Wayfair for finally pulling the trigger on it. I'm pretty excited. I can't wait to go out and see it.
Yeah, it is. I'm excited to see you. Well, we didn't see a lot of the inside of the store. I've been scouring online for like
Yeah.
all kinds of pictures and images. And to your point, for me, I think that's what I really want to see in person is what the merchandising looks like. Because you think about when you're shopping Wayfair, and especially with like the room generator and how you're able to kind of, with a digital image change your living room into a style, whether it's mid-century modern or bohemian or whatever it might be. Like you're able to do that so seamlessly, and I haven't been able to see inside of what the store looks like and how they're kind of like taking their all modern brand or like another brand and really like letting those come to life. So that's something that I'm that's like number one on my list. The next thing, though, I was really happy to see that there weren't any kiosks because when
Right.
Fiona Tan, the chief technology
Yeah.
officer at
Right.
Wayfair, and like when people were talking about this store early on, they were talking
100%.
about kiosks. And so I think number one, they did a tremendous job just making sure that you're really allowing your customer to use their phone as the remote control as you go
Mhm.
throughout the store, whether that's the ability to scan product. You can scan the product right there and have somebody packing it for you as you're walking through the store and then pick it up as you're leaving. You can scan the QR code on the product and then have it shipped directly to your house, or you can just pick that item up. I think those are key elements of truly making this that seamless omni-channel experience that doesn't involve any other technology in the store except for that device that people are walking in with. And the last thing I think that they was really imperative to making sure that this was an omni-channel store were the digital shell or the electronic labels that they have throughout the
Oh,
store.
right.
So making sure that every single product is updated in real time,
It's a
is
great point.
comped
I
to
should
the
have mentioned that.
website. Like
Mark
that is
mark
one
to
of
market on the website. Yep,
exactly,
100%.
like
That's a great
giving
point.
this consumer who's
Yep.
used to the way day sales and all the things, knowing that in store I'm going to get that same price, whether I walk away with it, in my hands or I have it shipped to my house. So really pleased though with how this turned out, and even more excited to go see it in person.
Yeah, the other point that I didn't think about until you just started talking there too is I think the food actually matters here too. I think,
Really? Yeah.
Wayfair, a value brand, the food has to be, it has to connote value and good quality, and has to be something that people want. It has to draw attention to it because you're going to spend a lot of time there. It's a big store. So like you want that to work. So you're going to overinvest in that to get the traffic there, to get people to come, to get them to stay, to get them to really immerse themselves in the product. I think that's an
Yeah.
important factor here too.
And to
Go
probably be
ahead.
and to be a buffer, I think, for time spent, if because
Right.
it's not the IKEA experience where you're going through the warehouse on the way out and picking up your own product and you're kind of in control of your own destiny. Like, what, as this ramps up, really having somebody picking and packing your orders so that they're ready when you decide you want to check out. I mean, I think that's going to be a logistical challenge too. So making sure that the food is good, or that you have something to entertain people if there's a wait. I think
Yeah.
that's a
If
great
if you
point.
got kids, that stuff's important when you're shopping for home furnishings.
Hmm.
It really is. So, and the value, I mean, look at Costco, look at IKEA, like
Yeah.
they've all done it. And, I think Wayfair can do it too. All right. So headline number 2, fun start to the show. TikTok has made it easier for creators to earn money. According to Bloomberg, TikTok didn't officially announce the change, but users noticed that the threshold to join its affiliates program dropped to 1,000 followers from 5,000. Affiliates, for those unfamiliar, are creators who can post videos promoting products sold in TikTok Shop and collect commissions on the sales they generate. Bloomberg conjectured that by giving more content creators an opportunity to make money, TikTok can shift the narrative to big government stifling small business, a claim on which TikTok also declined to comment. And do you think the connection between the potential ban is real, or is this just a good business move from TikTok? What's your take on that one?
Let's talk about PR window dressing from last week. I think that's exactly what this is. I do
You
not
do?
think,
Wow,
oh
really?
gosh,
Oh, I totally disagree.
I think
I totally
sure
disagree.
you'll probably get some more creators on the platform because they've lowered this threshold, but I don't think that's going to especially don't think that's going to move the needle at all on the ban. I don't think that anybody cares about the like what now that you have smaller, this is like small businesses. It's not the same as somebody that's
Yeah.
opening a store on Main Street. I think actually the bigger question that I have here, Chris, and then I'd love to get your feedback too, is if the TikTok infrastructure is set up to support more sellers on the platform, and if
Right.
the earning potential is there for the creators. And I would say that the latter is probably something that I'm curious to see play out, because you have to know, like, is the payout
Yeah.
worth it for the creators? It's not a lot of money that you're getting from affiliate revenue.
Mhm.
And so I'm curious, like, just because you open it up doesn't mean that it's going to be worth the time spent for these creators to create these videos. Does the impact, if it does that impact demand or product availability, since TikTok's handling all the logistics? They're not working directly with the brands for this. This is like everything going directly through TikTok. And then do people start to move away from TikTok in general because more content is affiliate content instead of actual content from people just talking about things that interest them? So nothing that I
Mm,
don't think can be overcome, but I
mm.
just think that there's more to it than this focus on the ban and whether or not this is going to save TikTok from
Would
getting banned in the US.
Do you think that's TikTok's impetus, or do you think that's just the journalists trying to make a connection there that isn't really there?
Um, I don't know. It's hard to say. I think TikTok's going to do anything they can to try to make themselves
Yeah.
look like they're supporting the US economy and
Yeah,
looking
I think the
good. So,
connection's kind of loose personally. And
yeah.
and I'm not worried about the points you said too. I mean, I think, my take on it, Ann, is honestly, I think it's just 100% good e-commerce. It's e-commerce is all about the long tail.
Yeah.
The more people you get selling stuff, the more stuff you typically sell. I mean, hell, look at our business. We do a podcast on the future of retail. There's a niche for anyone,
Mhm.
And to your point about, it's small time for a lot of creators. Yeah, it is. But for those that it isn't, it's still pretty valuable, and people see that, and then more people get into it and all that kind of thing. So TikTok is just, essentially allowing more creators to sell product on behalf of them. So, if I step back, why is 5,000 a better cutoff than 1,000? You know, I think that's an interesting question to ask yourself, but because it's all arbitrary, you know, if at some point
Well, it might be, but that's where I think that's where my question about like, is the TikTok infrastructure prepared to handle that many more people?
Exactly right. And I think this is the next logical step in the test. They tested it at 5. Now they're going
Sure.
down to 1. And you get to a point where if it's a true open economy and you're allowing everyone in and you believe in the principles of long tail e-commerce, you get to the point where there is no threshold even. And
Yeah.
so that's probably what they're experimenting with to understand,
Right.
you know, what happens with the user experience, what happens with the quality of creators that are engaging on this. The other part of this too is the algorithm. You know, you mentioned like, does the algorithm start serving up creators trying to sell you too many products? Well, if you're not looking at that, the algorithm should not serve that up to you either. So that should not be a factor either. If you think about how this plays out, it should only be a factor for those that want to see it. So there's a lot of things here that, you know, this could just be a natural evolution here, which is again, and TikTok's the only one really doing this. Facebook's gone away from this almost entirely. So I think it's smart. I love it.
Yeah, the money just has to be there. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing, like the quality of the content and whether or not these, you know, 1,000, the people with 1,000 followers can really make this. It's a job, you know, like it's definitely you have to put a lot of
But it
work
will be
in.
for
So
some of them because everybody starts small
yes,
and
yes,
somebody will figure it out, you know, but it gives them the ability to be bigger quicker, I guess is the
that's
reason I
right.
like it. So, you know,
Yes.
yay capitalism.
Oh my God. All right,
Like
let's
Austin
go.
Powers used to say, yay capitalism.
Oh my God. Let's go to headline number 3. Walmart is adding free pet telehealth to its Walmart Plus subscription. According to CNBC, Walmart has inked a deal with a veterinary telehealth provider, POP, to offer Walmart Plus subscribers access to the startup's membership for a year. Unlimited access to veterinary telehealth via video or text will be available to Walmart Plus subscribers. The offer will be available for a limited time, Walmart said, and Walmart Plus subscribers will have until November 19th to opt in. Chris, what do you think of this? Are you going to be getting the Walmart Plus subscription now that there's pet telehealth?
I don't know about that, but I think this is a great move, man. I can't wait
Okay.
to hear what you think about this one too, because I have a feeling you're
Yeah.
kind of skeptical on this one. But um, the reason I like it is it's very strategic. I think there's been a ton of reports that Walmart's been seeing a higher income demographic starting to shop in their stores, and that they've been stealing share as a result of that. So the question to me then becomes strategically, how is Walmart going to retain those customers? Well, I did some research last night, Anne, and according to a Forbes report that I found on pet ownership statistics in 2024, you know, your favorite subject as well as
You
mine,
don't
pet
you don't
owner.
know these off the top of your head, Chris? You don't know
I
pet ownership statistics?
I do not, Anne, but I found them very fascinating, and let me tell you why. Pray tell. So, with incomes over $100,000, so you know, essentially rich people, they're the most likely to own a pet. 63% of households within this income bracket own a dog, and 40% for some god unknown reason also own a cat. And I can't figure that one out, but those are statistics. Statistics don't lie. So that is who this is squarely aimed at. Get the $100 for the subscription and keep Walmart sticky in their minds. I think it's brilliant. I think it's a great, great move. What do you think, though?
Yeah.
Are you gonna
No,
poo-poo this, or
I'm not.
did I sway you,
I'm not going to poo-poo it. I
or
think
were
I
you already
looked
swayed?
I think that it makes a lot of sense. I mean, it's just the same thing we've been talking about. The Walmart Plus benefits keep adding up. And when you start to
They
put
do.
real, like, especially during this time when you said, like, there's people in upper income brackets trading down and starting to
Yep.
explore this. I mean, when you're already paying, like, I looked up PetSmart, they have a telehealth service that's $12.99 a month. Like, if you're already paying for that service, which most of these people I would imagine are, then you start to add on, then it's another $11.99 a month for Paramount Plus. Gas
Mhm.
discounts probably saving you $10 or so a month.
Yeah.
5% cash back on all the travel bookings that you're doing with Expedia.
Ooh.
Next day shipping with no order minimums. Like all of these things that you're getting for that, they add up. And so the $99 a year like price points is really getting you quite a bit. And I think with this, like you said, will really start to bring on some of those pet parents or give them a reason to be like, well, let's just give it a try. I'm already paying this at PetSmart. Why don't I just go over to Walmart Plus, try this out, and get the free grocery delivery? So I think it makes sense. And like we've said, keeps on giving you that reason to subscribe to Walmart Plus. So
Yeah.
keep going.
And Fido needs his worms medication, and Fido needs it. Like, I don't
Right.
know, you know, I
That
don't know if I have no idea what I'm talking about actually, but
I don't
and
the
I don't know if you can do that
heartworms.
virtually or not. I have no idea, but you know, whatever, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you can get the medications shipped to you so that you can be doing like
Yeah.
it seems like a great process. Not in the emergency vet situations, which my sister-in-law, I asked her, I was like, would you, she has shipped or an Instacart. I was like, would you switch over to this because now you can combine these services? And she's like, well, it just depends on the emergency vet visit because apparently some of these companies can jack those prices up
Oh, emergency vet visits are
when you need
insane.
a
Yeah.
last minute thing. But this is, you know, like she said, it's almost too good to be true. So who
Yeah,
knows?
yeah, yeah. When Ginsburg needs an emergency, it's not a fun day in the Walton household. All right, well, let's bring Joanna in now. Joining us now for 5 insightful minutes is Omni Talk friend and managing director at the A&M Consumer and Retail Group, Joanna Rangarajan. Joanna will be discussing with us the results of her most recent study on navigating the rapid pace of fast fashion. Joanna, we've been hearing about fast fashion for years. First of all, who is Shein and how have they been disrupting the space?
I love that question because the fact that I'm having to explain it, but we'll get started. Who is Shein? They've been a heavy disruptor in the fast fashion space. They are an online fashion retailer. Their product categories span apparel, accessories, and beauty. They are a digitally native brand that originally was based in China and then launched in the US in 2014. And come 2021, they were the most downloaded app on iOS and Android. So they've been taking over. They have also really disrupted the fast fashion space in large part because of critical elements of their operating model that really and truly are differentiating factors. I think three to highlight that have created a tremendous amount of that disruption are, first, their unprecedented speed. They have a rapid pulse on what trends are resonating, and they have this revolving seasonless product introduction concept where daily they are making product introductions across a variety of categories. Secondly is their agility. They have supercharged lead times that allow them to get product into the market in a matter of days once they make that decision. And they really follow through on this digital first DNA of theirs, enabling their investment pivots in product development and marketing to shift depending on the feedback they're receiving from various trends. And the third is that they are data first and decisive. They collect and analyze customer data and customer behaviors, and then they mobilize on what that says. And what that's done is given fast fashion stalwarts of the world are trying to keep up with this. And those who are trying to get into this space are sort of left a little perplexed on where to start.
Joanna, one of my favorite parts of your article is where you describe 5 elements of the Shein operating model that brands can leverage to stay relevant in the rapid world of fashion. Can you share a quick summary of what those elements are?
Absolutely. I think taking a page from their playbook, but thinking about how that could be adapted for a variety of brands. Let me just first emphasize a few of Shein's outcomes that make you say, why would I want to do this? They've reached 45 billion in sales and they've doubled their profits in the last year. So with that in mind, the 5 things that our study highlights that we've found are first incorporating the consumer voice in design and merchandising. So not waiting until product is in market, on site, or in shelf, but actually starting up front in the process. The second is optimizing a supply base that has the ability to pivot quickly with you. And that includes reinforcing with parallel manufacturing. Multiple partners making the same thing at the exact same time can increase the speed of that product getting to the consumer's hands. The third is this reinterpretation of sampling and really pushing the limits on where we can reduce our lead times and get rid of waste generative physical samples and going with digitized versions of product at virtually any part of the process that a brand can imagine. The fourth is reinvigorating go-to-market timelines. I mentioned lead times a moment ago, but really segmenting calendars to have faster trend categories operate very differently. If brands do that, they could see a 70 to 75% reduction in their go-to-market lead time off a traditional 40-week retail calendar. And then lastly is revamping a social media marketing element of that, staying at the forefront of consumers' minds, meeting them squarely in their path to purchase. The best product that we have is only as good as if we're telling people that we have it.
Joanne, I want to double click into that first one you mentioned a little bit, the consumer as an extension of design. So my question there is, how can brands still listen to the consumer voice when they're all time pressured for speed, but then there's also this backdrop of inflation and also a continued demand for sustainability? How do you sort all that out?
There are three big things that brands can do in this space. One is customer reviews and surveys. That can happen at any stage of the design and product development process. And that could be sharing design concepts, engaging reactions, anything from general interest to reaction to color offering to product A versus product B. So using that as an upfront tool. The second is in actual product testing. Put things out there, see what sticks, and get back into it as quickly as possible. So seeking those signals from our existing, but also our aspirational customers, brands should treat as their true north as they're getting that information back, and then acting on what the customer tells them. And the third is around actual consumer and customer analytics. The cultivation and capture of data is one piece of it, but then it needs to be reviewed, it needs to be reacted to, and you have to actually do something with that information. But if brands can take all of those various levers or various tools, they can apply the voice of the consumer sort of throughout their design and development cycle.
What's at stake for brands struggling to keep up, and how do you recommend they get started?
What ultimately is at stake is share of wallet, right? Discretionary spending is still down. So you must be there meeting the customer where they are with what they want. And all of the things that we've discussed in this time together can improve both P&L and balance sheet metrics, from top line expansion to improved margin to improved sell-through to reduced inventory positions overall. Just a note, Shein has 10% unsold inventory compared to an industry average of 30. So you get a lot there in doing this. But how to get started? It's pretty simple. Commit with conviction that you want to start addressing this is step one. Step two is listening to what the consumer says and what they're telling you, and be decisive about that. Don't revisit throughout the pipeline. Listen and react. And the third is start, pilot, test, learn, modify, repeat, and just get started.
Thanks,
Thank
Joanna.
you, Joanna. All right, headline number 4. Schnucks Market has linked up with Ibotta. According to Chain Storage, Schnucks has joined the Ibotta Performance Network, a digital network that delivers promotions in a coordinated fashion across retailer platforms, large third-party publisher sites, and mobile payment and rewards platforms. A key component of the partnership will also be strategic research and development, with the goal of building Schnucks' next-generation grocery shopping experience. Potential areas of innovation include advanced digital offers in retail media and new in-store customer touchpoints. Digital offers from the IPN, i.e. the Ibotta Performance Network, are set to become available to Schnucks customers later this year. And what do you think of this one? This was your headline. What do you think of this one?
It was, because I just think it's important to call out that in this time where every retailer in QSR is slashing prices, it's this race to the bottom. I think that
point.
it's a way to increase revenue with your most loyal customers. Like, you're getting them deals in a very convenient way. You're making sure that they're getting every possible manufacturer coupon that applies in their shopping experience. And I think, if I know Schnucks, I can't confirm because we weren't able to see this in the story that we were reading, but I assume that it's just going to be plugged and piped right into my Schnucks app, which is already so well done. That's what they're doing with Upside and other loyalty programs. I think it's a smart solution. You're going to get those people in the door this summer with those slashing prices. But then what happens long term? How do you give that same benefit to your most loyal consumers and just keep getting more from them? Keep them loyal to you. And this is a great way to do that. But what do you think,
Yeah.
Chris?
I mean, I agree. I mean, Schnucks already has the most advanced smart store design, and hence their retail media network platform is going to take advantage of that, and their mobile app and their understanding of who's shopping what in store. It's unparalleled. So it's just another great move by them. And I think we talked about it on the show last week with A&M too, right? We said, like, there's a lot of pressures coming in grocery. And so you've got to look at your retail media network to offset that. I think it's 100% the right point that you made at the outset. But the other interesting angle here to me, though, and I think it's really worth mentioning is, and did you know who happens to own a stake in Ibotta?
Oh,
I think this is
yes.
fascinating, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Walmart. And as of April 2024, according to Google, Walmart owns an 8.2% stake in Ibotta. So again, masterclass from Walmart on long-term growth strategy, because Walmart's going to win from the growth of its own retail media network, as well as the growth of the retail media networks across the grocery industry. So Doug, what's that song from The Hangover? Doug, I can't remember it. I can't sing the tune, but Dougie Fresh, man, you are on it. Well played again, my friend. Like, just brilliant.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to move to the next headline before we have any more of a Doug McMillan
No more
Love
singing, Ann? You
Festival
don't want me
happening.
singing?
No. All right, let's go to headline number 5, Chris. Google has tapped AI to show shoppers how clothes fit different bodies. According to Wired, brands that run ads for women's or men's shirts, they're just testing in this category right now, will have the ability to show shoppers how the products look on dozens of different real models without taking additional photos. The new feature means that typing in eyelet crop top, which I know you do all the time, Chris.
Oh, yeah.
When
Did
you
it last
type
night
in
twice.
when you type in eyelet crop top on Google's search engine, for example, it could return an ad with a clickable gallery that shows what an item looks like on women with different skin tones and body types. Google says brands do not need to share detailed dimensions of the clothing with the company for it to generate new images of models wearing them. All of which, according to Wired, makes the try-on tool easier for advertisers to use, but also means it can't replace an old-fashioned tape measure if you want to know for certain whether that eyelet crop top will be long enough for your torso. Chris, I know this is a major concern for
I
you.
definitely do, Ann. I definitely
With
do.
your long torso, how do
I
you
do have a long
feel
torso, actually.
about Google's new offering for men's and women's tops?
I think this is going to be the biggest debate of the show. I really do.
Yeah.
I'm a big meh on this one.
Okay.
I am not excited about this at all. I guess from an advertiser's perspective, it saves a little time. I guess, it saves me time, but the last point that you raised is also concerning to me. Like, you still aren't confident that it's going to fit you. So then I get into the question of, like, how deceptive is this? Because I'm
Sure.
an advertiser. I'm going to make sure it looks good on those silhouettes or those fit models that I'm choosing. So I don't know. I just, at the end of the day, with all this stuff, I just go back to what I've been saying for a while. Getting fit tech right where it makes a difference involves coordinating so many different systems to link up in so many different ways that I think it's really hard to do, to the point where it really moves the needle and gives people the degree of confidence they want when making a purchase. So that's my take on this last headline. I put this headline in that same bucket of, like, yeah, I
Oh, no.
guess, but
No.
oh, this is going to change how you shop. Really? That's
I
what
think
you
it's going to
think?
change how a lot of people shop, because I
Wow. All
think
right.
that what's happening here, I think you have to separate this from the fit tech. Like, this is not saying with 1,000-degree percentage of confidence that, like, this is what it's going to look like on your body. But when you think about how people are shopping, and according to a SEMrush study, I did some research last night. So as of January 2024, half of consumers are going to Google for a
Yeah.
first-time product search. Okay, let's lay the groundwork there.
Yeah, for sure.
Then you add on top the 12 billion people using Google Lens in social feeds, or the circle it function that Google's been, like, out there promoting like crazy. And so I think when you think about where discovery is happening or where you're going for a new product search, if I get that search page, which Google's done such a better job of showing pictures of that product right away and allowing me to shop, if I see a picture of somebody who looks like me, or an item that's on someone who looks like my body type, I'm clicking into that second search versus seeing just like a typical tiny petite model wearing that item. I think this gives you the opportunity to get them that next click where they will go and confirm, like, what will this actually look like on me? Let's read the product dimensions. Let's look at the fabric that it's made with. Like, I think that Google is just like, without requiring extra effort from the advertiser or from the brands, this ability to further personalize that experience, and the technology will only get better. So is it perfect now? No, but it's going to elevate shopping experiences and only get better from here.
Yeah, I'm skeptical. So wait. So let me ask you. Let me press you a little bit because we got some
Yeah.
time. The show's running. The show's running quick. So like, let's say you do this right,
Yeah.
and you get it home, and the eyelet crop top is much shorter than it appeared on the Google search or what you were looking at when you were buying it. Does that
Yep.
make you less trusting of the technology the next time you're looking at it, or no?
No,
Or does it
not
even
at all.
matter? That's kind
It
of my
doesn't
point
matter.
too.
It
Yeah,
doesn't
that's the
matter.
thing.
You're
It
going to
doesn't
do it.
matter.
You're going to do it. You're going to order that.
It doesn't do
You may
anything
order
for you
that
then.
anyway, but I want to look at the metric that I want to look at is clicks from the Google shopping page. And if those clicks increase when you have different models that are represented based on that individual, it's not so, I really think it needs to be
Engagement.
separated from like, is this going to perfectly represent what it's going to look like on me? Probably not, but it'll give me a more accurate picture of what this product looks like on somebody that's my size. So that's really what I'm going for here. It's not fit. I don't think we're at fit technology. You still have to go to the retailer to look at the specs and really determine,
Yeah.
and like you said, use the tape measure, but it's getting somebody from that search page to the brand page that I think this is going to improve.
I am skeptical. You are the biggest Google file though right now. My
Oh
God.
God.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah,
love
you
it.
are.
I love it
You're
so
like the
much.
Google brand ambassador. Everywhere we go, you're talking about it. Yeah,
But I
no, it's
think
good.
if you look at it, and when you show people Google Lens and the power, I can't tell you, that's like my favorite cocktail party trick right
Oh,
now.
I
It's
know.
just
I
like
know.
showing people Google Lens, their minds are blown. I mean, it is so, and 12 billion searches, like, just, lots
Yeah.
of people out there discovering it for the very first time still. So I
Yeah.
think that number is only going to increase too.
It is pretty
But
cool. It is pretty cool. Although Google Lens is different than this too. I mean, they're kind of, I mean, it functions potentially together, but I see what you're saying. But yes.
true,
But
true. But it's
but
getting people to the brand page,
yeah.
finding that thing, getting them seeing my body with that item on, or something that more closely represents my body, and then getting them to the page that I love. Okay, let's go to the lightning round, Chris. Let's go to question number 1. Nathan's Famous embraces its signature New York flavor in a new campaign featuring a talking 100% New York hot dog as a spokes character. What one thing would you have the hot dog do or say to convince the audience that it's 100% New York?
Oh my God, Ann, that's such a good question. The one thing I always remember about New York is I went to a Yankee game when I was like 22 or 23 years old with my buddy Adam York. Shout out to him. He was living there at the time. And I just like politely like went between somebody in a line, like was waiting for a concession stand. The dude's like, "You're not gonna freaking say excuse me?" And I didn't say freaking, but you know what he said. And I'm like, damn, dude, just chill out, relax. It's not that big a deal. He was so mad at me. I was like, God, you guys are just angry.
So angry hot
Angry.
dog.
Yes,
Angry
an
hot dog
angry,
is
yeah,
what you would do.
the hot dog has to shout at you, Ann. That's what I think.
It
That'd be
must
my
have
answer to the
like
question.
eyebrows that are curving down and be very
Yeah,
upset.
and a loud volume of the voice. The loud volume of the voice. All right, so cancel Christmas, Ann, because Jell-O has come out with Girl Scout Thin Mint pudding cups.
Oh my God. I thought you were going to talk about the native deodorant. They had
No.
Thin Mint cookie deodorant.
Oh, they do? Wow,
Yeah.
that would
Ugh.
not cancel Christmas for that, but I would for
No.
pudding cups, yeah. And
Okay.
I learned yesterday that you were once a Girl Scout, which kind of surprised me, to be honest with you. So
Really?
yeah, it did. It did.
Why?
It really did. I don't know.
I don't seem like
it just
naturey
surprised it
enough.
never came up in conversation after knowing you for almost 9 years. What merit badge are you most proud of as a Girl Scout?
Well, I had to look back to see what the badge was, but man, they have cool badges now. They're like STEM badges and like outdoors and like entrepreneurship. It was like, this is so
Oh,
much better now than it was when I was in the 80s. But my most
there's like a
memorable
coding
one,
badge or something like that.
yes,
It's
that's what
just
I
kind of
mean. It's like
antithetical to the Girl
cool
Scouts, right?
stuff. Yeah. Well, my most memorable, I think it was like a badge called International Studies, but we had
Oh,
to have each Girl Scout troop had to represent a country and prepare a presentation. And my mom, Linda S., she was the, you know what? She just was all over it. She brought we were France. She brought a crepe maker to the Apache Mall. She got us all berets. We were serving crepes into the audience, talking about France, and we were so good at it that not only did we get our international studies badges, but we were also featured in the New Brighton Bulletin, Chris. So there's a picture of me and two other Girl Scouts wearing our berets and serving up the crepes. So,
wow. Were you a brownie too, Anne? Were you a
oh
brownie
yeah,
as well? You
you
were.
had
You
to
did the
start.
whole nine
Had to
yards.
start as a
Wow.
brownie, and
Nice. Nice.
then you go
Yeah.
up. Okay, Chris, to woo customers, Target is cutting prices and turning stores into mini vacation destinations that make you feel like you are at the beach. There's a cabana like display, beach music, and wave sounds. Chris, I want to know what song is a must on your beach music playlist.
Oh, I think you can't go wrong with anything from Jimmy Buffett. You know,
Yeah,
you could go Cheeseburger in Paradise, Margaritaville. You could go Let's Get Drunk and you know what? Like for all so
that
earmuffs,
probably isn't
everyone.
allowed on
Yeah, yeah.
the Target beach music playlist, but Cheeseburger in
Probably
Paradise for sure.
Probably not, but it could be. It should be, in my opinion. But all right, and last one. An AI startup, BrainBridge, has created a new head transplant system and plans to perform its first operation within the next decade. Of all people, past, present, or even fictional, Anne, with whom would you most want to exchange heads? And to answer this question, it has to be the whole head, inclusive of the person's brain, the whole kit and
Brains
caboodle,
and
Anne.
faces.
Brains and face. Who would you most want to change heads with?
Oh man.
Most random question we've ever asked on this
It
show.
is because I was thinking like there's two different answers for brains and faces, but um I don't know. I think I would probably pick
Are you
Margaret
saying the brain
Thatcher.
doesn't necessarily move with the quality of the face? Is that what you're saying, Ann?
Yes. Margaret Thatcher.
Margaret Thatcher. You'd exchange heads with Margaret Thatcher.
Sure. I don't know.
Wow, that's so random. I
It
never
is
thought you'd go with the Iron Lady.
the question is random also, but yes, that's who I would pick. Who would you pick?
Oh my god, I haven't even thought about it.
I know it's like
I'd probably go with Clooney. He seems like he's got a good noggin on his shoulder, good brain on his
so you're
shoulders, and he's
going for face
good
first,
looking.
not brain
No,
first.
he's got a combination of both. I think or you can just
Okay.
go full Einstein. He was a player too, so you could go him too. I don't
Oh
know.
my
I have
God.
no idea. I haven't thought about it for a second. That's why I give you the question, Dad. All
Yeah.
right, happy birthday today to Latoya Jackson, Danny Elfman, and to the man who literally told last week's happy birthday recipient Brooke Smith to put the actual lotion in the basket. I kid you not, Ann. His birthday is this week, the great Ted Levine. And remember, if you can only read or listen to one retail blog in the business, make it Omni Talk, the only retail media outlet run by two former executives from a current top 10 U.S. retailer. Our Fast Five podcast is the quickest, fastest rundown of all the week's top news. And our daily newsletter, the Retail Daily Minute, tells you all you need to know each day to stay on top of your game as a retail executive, and also regularly features special content that is exclusive to us and that Ann and I take a heck of a lot of pride in doing just for you. Thanks as always for listening in. Please remember to like and leave us a review wherever you happen to listen to your podcast or on YouTube. You can follow us today by simply going to youtube.com/OmniTalk Retail. So until next week, on behalf of all of us at Omni Talk Retail, we'll see you next week from Barcelona. And until then, be careful out there.
OmniTalk's Retail Fast Five is brought to you in association with the A&M Consumer and Retail Group. The A&M Consumer and Retail Group is a management consulting firm that tackles the most complex challenges and advances its clients, people, and communities toward their maximum potential. CRG brings the experience, tools, and operator-like pragmatism to help retailers and consumer products companies be on the right side of disruption. And Avalara. Avalara makes tax compliance faster, easier, more accurate, and more reliable for 30,000 plus business and government customers in over 90 countries. Avalara leverages 1,200 plus signed partner integrations to power tax calculations, document management, tax return filing, and tax content access. Visit avalara.com to improve your compliance journey. And Williot. Williot's ambient IoT visibility platform, powered by battery-free Bluetooth tags, eliminates scanning for real-time end-to-end inventory visibility. For For more information, head to williat.com/omnitalk. And Miracle. Miracle is the global leader in platform business innovation for e-commerce. Companies like Macy's, Nordstrom, and Kroger use Miracle to build disruptive growth and profitability through marketplace, dropship, and retail media. For more information, visit miracle.com. That's MIRAKL.com. And finally, Sezzle. Sezzle is an innovative buy now, pay later solution that allows shoppers to split purchases into 4 interest-free payments over 6 weeks. To learn more, visit Sezzle.com.